What is the unit circle and why does it matter? First, let's imagine a coordinate plane with a line with a length of 1 unit. Now let's use that line to draw a circle. We'll focus on this quadrant for now. Now let's say this angle here is 45 degrees. We could forget about the circle for a minute. Now, can we find the x and y coordinates of this point? Yeah. All we need to do is just set this up as a right triangle and then use some trigonometry to find the x and y value. We'll use sine for y and cosine for x. Now we have 1 on the bottom of both of these equations, so both of those just disappear. So now we're left with the sine of the angle equals the y value, and the cosine of the angle equals the x value. Remember that, that's very important. So now let's imagine that same process for the angles 30 degrees and 60 degrees now. Now we can begin to see a bit of a pattern. Now, as this is a circle centered about the origin, we know that there is a great deal of symmetry we can make use of. Using just what we know so far, we can complete the rest of the points for each of the angles complementary to the angles we've already done. Now pay attention to these points because the pattern here makes the circle pretty easy to memorize. All of these points have the same values, just one or both of the signs will be flipped in the different quadrants. The point at 30 degrees is the same as the points at 150, 210, and 330 degrees, aside from the signs being different at each. So to memorize a circle, all you need to do is just remember the first quadrant and fill in the rest adjusting for the sign at each quadrant. Now let's look at the point on each of the axes. Remember that the line we used to draw the circle had a length of 1, so what do you think the x value will be when it's on the x-axis? 1. And of course, the y value would just be 0. Now we can use the same logic for each of these points. Now, we know what the unit circle is and how it's derived, but why does it matter? Well, remember these equations up here. Because the radius is 1, it simply cancels out on all these equations, so this gives us a very simple equation for the value of a sine of an angle. So the point of this unit circle is it's the easiest way to remember the values of sine and cosine functions. All you need to remember is the sine of an angle equals the y value of the point associated with it, and the cosine equals the x value of the point. So there you have it. There's the unit circle and why we use it. Now this was a very broad overview, and if you want a more in-depth explanation of all its uses, I'll be releasing a full video soon on my YouTube. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing.